guys, so I wanted to have this casual life catch up, sit down with you, have some tea. I already had my tea for today, and I also realized and learned recently that I can't have caffeine past 6 p.m. anymore, which is really devastating for me. So anyways, it's like late afternoon now, so I'm not gonna have any tea, but you're welcome to have tea. And so I've written down a few things that I just wanted to give you a life update on, and hopefully you enjoy this video. Let's talk about 3 main aspects of my life throughout this video. The first will be Lisa Study Guides, my primary bread and butter business, my tutoring business and study guide business. Then we'll talk about Tutor Boss, which is my coaching business to help tutors start their own businesses. And then we'll have part 3, which is basically just how my life is going outside of work. So giving you guys a little bit of a peek into what I do outside of work. Feeling very articulate today. Anyway, so the last catch up I've done was probably early on in the year, and now it's midway through the year, which is ridiculous. But basically LSG is going well, and I say well to you guys, and it might just sound like, okay, everything's all well and swell, but really in my head it's like, whoa, a lot happened. So basically I have been focused this first half of the year really on my team and making sure that my team feel capable and feel like they're supported by me in how they do things in the business. So basically where I'm at with LSG is we are trying to navigate that 6-figure phase of a business. And I think when you're looking at businesses, when you're starting off from 4-figure to 5-figure to 6-figure to 7-figure, these phases are very different for the business. So when you're starting out in that 4-figure stage, you're still figuring out your niche, you're still figuring out your audience, your branding. There's just a lot to be figuring out. Then when you've got to that 5-figure stage, like you're starting to implement things that are working for you, you're still experimenting and you're growing as a result. But now that we're at the 6-figure stage, we have figured out what works for us. We're still learning, of course, and we're always looking to improve, but we have such thing as our bread and butter, tutoring, and we also publish study guides, which are performing really well. Teachers use them in schools, students buy heaps of them. And so I know that students really love the content that we create. And so we just really want to buckle down on those and really, hopefully, expand our impact and our reach to more students, to more teachers. And so what this means for me is actually taking a step back from that front end of the business. So I'm still doing the marketing where I can, so I'm still on camera, but I have recently hired Fern, who is my marketer, and she essentially runs the marketing machine. And boy, oh boy, is it a machine at LSG, because content creation is just so big and just such a big part of what we do. A big part of hiring Fern was to ensure that I could take myself out of the business and start working on the business itself. And so when I say working on the business, what does that actually mean? It means returning that and making sure that I can support her in her work. It's also other team members in LSG as well. And so I'm trying to convert a lot of what's in my brain onto paper for my team to be able to do it themselves, while at the same time trying to empower them to make their own decisions and to basically try to optimize a workflow when you have a team versus just when I had me. You know, when I had just me, it was easy just to do everything and everything was just up here. Whereas now we have to really figure out the challenges in our workflow. If one person can't get something done, it affects somebody else. And so what does that mean? So it's been a lot for me. It's been mainly learning about project management. It's been learning how to manage my team as well. And it's also learning about who to hire into the right roles so that I can continue to extract myself out of the business and eventually just be the CEO of the business rather than the CEO and the project manager and the manager. See what I'm saying? So that's the LSG side of things. Now, if we move over to Tutor Boss, Tutor Boss is really great fun for me because it's essentially me restarting a business with all the skills that I've built up over the years doing LSG. In a way, I see it as LSG's little sister. You know, I'm still doing a lot of that legwork myself. I'm doing the branding. I'm still figuring out my audience. I'm figuring out my marketing funnels. I am creating the course curriculum. I am conducting sales with people. So when you are a lot more self-reliant, I think I can be a lot more aggressive in terms of what I want my goals to be because they're solely reliant on me. Slightly different when you have a team and you need to be able to mobilize an entire team towards one common goal. Having said that though, one major challenge that I've experienced over the past few months is just not having enough capacity to do both businesses and do them well. So there was a point in time when I was fully booked out for Tutor Boss, which was so exciting for one-on-one coaching. But because I was fully booked out, I couldn't onboard any more new coaching clients. And it also meant that I just didn't really have that much free time left over for LSG if LSG had an emergency that really required me. So in February, March, I'd actually started to switch off my one-on-one coaching. So anybody I had done coaching with, I was just finishing up with them, but I wasn't actually onboarding any new clients. So if you've been following me, you know that I've been working towards this 100K goal in Tutor Boss. My goal was to make 100K within the first year of launching the business. And we're close to reaching the end of the year. So when that time comes, I'll definitely give you guys an update on what that final figure is and my lessons and learnings along the way, because there have been a lot. I had to basically tell my ego that no, like it's highly unlikely we're gonna actually reach this 100K goal, because what that would mean would be more energy and more time into Tutor Boss, which just wasn't the right choice, especially when there was just so much happening over at LSG with onboarding new team members, with managing the workflows. Like that is a lot of work. So I'm okay with the fact that I'm not gonna hit this 100K goal, though I'm still really proud of how far I've come as a result. So during March, April, May, I slowed things down and I've been basically preparing for a new Tutor Boss 2.0 launch. Previously with my Tutor Boss 1.0, I mainly focused on new and aspiring tutors, people who were looking to get started or people who had just a few number of students who were still looking to get on board more students and transition into the job, you know, part-time, full-time, whatever their dream was. But what I found was that some people actually came through who had already maxed themselves out, who had already started hiring tutors. And it got me really excited to realize that actually there's a whole other audience that I want to serve here, especially having experienced what I've experienced over the past few years growing LSG. I know what it's like to actually move from being a solo tutor who's fully booked out to hiring your first few tutors and what that means for your future and growth later on. So for Tutor Boss 2.0, I will actually be serving two different types of people in two separate groups. I'll be serving new and aspiring tutors, but also established tutors as well. So while we're on the topic, if this is something that you're interested in, then I highly recommend you go and check out my masterclass. It's free. It is an epic training that is 90 minutes long, where you get to learn what the mistakes people make are when it comes to a tutoring business, how you can avoid those mistakes and what you should be doing instead, and how you can work with me in group coaching. Now, the third thing is more so just talking about my life. So basically right now, my partner, Josh, and I are trying to find our dream first home together. It's a really exciting time in our relationship because I think this is a really big commitment for us. I think for me personally, like marriage is not a big of a deal as it is to actually buy a home with somebody. I think that's actually a bigger commitment and a more serious commitment than something like marriage. Don't come at me, it's just how I am. I'm not really someone who loves love or loves the idea of love. It's not to say that I'm not excited to get married at some point, but for me, I think getting a house together, finding a place that we're gonna call our home for the next 5-10 years is just super exciting. So I've been doing lots and lots of house inspections, and I've been documenting a little bit of my journey over on TikTok. So if you're interested, please go ahead and watch that. These videos seem to just do really well well and people are really interested in them. So if you're somebody who's interested in property, then I highly recommend you have a watch. Basically, we're looking for a 3-bedroom home, whereas right now we live in a 2-bedroom home, and it's just been a little bit challenging because Josh and I actually have the same office space. So you can see my desk over here, but he is literally right over here. You can't see it on camera, and I'm not going to show you because he's a little bit massive. Yeah, but it just basically means that I don't have as much flexibility to film, for example. Like right now I'm only filming because Josh is not home at the moment, and so I think in terms of my workflow it can be a little bit challenging, and it would just be really nice to actually have an office space that I can call my own and just talk as much as I want, because as part of my job I'm always talking, and I know that pisses Josh off a little bit. Shh. Otherwise, apart from looking for a home, we've just been trying to make the most out of this post-COVID, quote-unquote post-COVID life. So I've been going out a lot, going to music festivals. I will be doing a little bit more traveling in Australia with the aim to travel to Europe at the end of the year. So there's a lot on the cards, and really I'm just trying to enjoy what is my life right now. I've been reading a lot of self-improvement books, all of which I share on my stories whenever I see key snippets that I think would be valuable for you too. So if you haven't followed me over there, then make sure you do. So yeah, that's it really. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you watched all the way until the end, thank you so much. Like, I really appreciate it. If you did watch until the end of this video, let me know by commenting down in the section below. Catch up, just so that I get feedback that you're actually enjoying this type of video and that I should do more of them. Let me also know in the comment what else you'd like to know about my life when I do my next live catch up. And yeah, I can't wait to see you in the next video. Catch you guys next week. Bye.